Hey, help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also, hit that like button to subscribe if you want more Cavs-focused content. What's up, everybody? After the Cavs' dominant Game 3 performance, they are one game away from moving on to the second round of the NBA playoffs and facing the winner of the Bucks-Pacers series. But before we get there, we got questions. And the first question comes from, how did he get first on both the QnA videos? This is amazing. Smooch, you must have your notifications on. But it is Smooch who says, should they rest Darius Garland for Game 4? I think so. Yeah, I would, right? It seems to be like a toe injury. Those injuries could be the kind that just need the rest for like a week. I feel comfortable resting him Game 4. Because if you rest him Game 4, you win Game 4. When's Game 4? It's Game 4 Monday. Let's double check this so I don't give out misinformation. But I believe Game 4 is Monday. And if Game 4 is Monday, it is Monday. So if Game 4 is Monday, that means that the conference semifinals would start May 3rd or 4th. So it would give him about 5 more days to rest on top of the 3 days he just got to rest that injury after Game 2. So yeah, if you feel like you can close out the Heat tomorrow, then let him rest. I don't see a problem with that. Mike Swagger with the next question asks this. Let's talk Defensive Player of the Year. You get how much of a bonus? I heard it's $45 million. Sheesh. What is the MVP worth and how do we retain Ty Jerome? Well, that's not one-to-one what I believe is happening. I don't think it's a bonus for getting Defensive Player of the Year in itself. The reason that Evan Mobley is getting a $45 million bonus for winning Defensive Player of the Year is it's one of the qualifiers in your rookie deal. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe that's the case. It's one of the qualifiers in your rookie deal that makes you eligible for the Supermax, which is a specific type of extension. Like, you heard when Luka got traded, right, that he lost $125 million of contract value because the Mavericks traded him. And that's because once he got traded, he was no longer eligible for the Supermax, which is the biggest contract you can sign. The Supermax was designed by teams to keep players in the teams that they were drafted in, right? So if you get the Supermax, nobody can match that. It's a contract offer that only one team can throw at a player, and it's massive. And Evan Mobley getting the Defensive Player of the Year means that he's now eligible for the Supermax. And it's very likely that the Cavs were going to give him whatever extension was there. For whatever it's worth, him winning Defensive Player of the Year probably going to end up being irrelevant because Evan Mobley is likely to make an All-NBA team as well. And if he would have made All-NBA, he would have been eligible for the Supermax as well. So that's why he's getting the extra $45 million that you're hearing. It's not because that's the bonus for winning Defensive Player of the Year. It's because he gets the Supermax now, right? Or the Mega Max or whatever they're calling it now. But he gets the biggest contract that you can get because he won that specific NBA award that gives him the eligibility for the Supermax. So that's why people are saying that. Hope I cleared that up for you. Evan Mobley is the GOAT, says, what is the role for Jaylen Tyson next year? The role for Jaylen Tyson. I think Jaylen Tyson's role next year might be to replace what Isaac Okoro brings or take up more of Isaac Okoro's role. maybe that could be like maybe with more scoring because they're pretty similar players. I wonder with Evan getting the Supermax, does that also mean that you're going to have to move a guy like Isaac Okoro to free up some money? So Jaylen Tyson's going to step up. Maybe that's that, right? Like maybe that's the role there. We'll see if the Cavs are able to retain Ty Jerome. That's also an important piece of this conversation. But Jaylen Tyson is going to have to be in the rotation next year. What role can he find for him? It's not going to be one-to-one with anybody on the roster right now. But I guess if it was one-to-one with anybody, it would probably be Isaac. That's just my best guess because I don't think Jaylen Tyson's going to be like igniter in the way that like Ty Jerome's an igniter off the bench. Benelonian says, is it concerning that the Cavs seem to start slow often when Boston specializes in starting hot in big games? I mean, you can start slow and Boston can start hot. That doesn't guarantee that you're going to win, right? So as long as it's something that the Cavs can come back from and the Cavs are capable of coming back from, then I don't really see it as a problem because the Cavs also have a knack for coming back from being down a ton of points. And Boston has a knack for letting teams back into games when they get big leads, right? They tend to shoot themselves out of these games. So, I don't think it's too much of a concern. The Cavs start slow sometimes. Boston starts fast sometimes. It's not guaranteed that both teams are going to start fast, slow, or whatever it is. I don't see it as a big deal as long as you finish strong. My man Fresh says, because I'm not going to say that first shit. That's crazy. Is it me or do the Cavs look like the best team front to back in the playoffs so far? Yeah. I don't think it's you. I agree with you. Like, I think the Cavs in Oklahoma City look like the best teams in basketball right now. Right? I think they're the only two teams who have gone up 3-0. Oklahoma City, to the credit, finished their sweep last night. The Cavs will have their opportunity to do the same on Monday. But yeah, it looks like Oklahoma City and the Cavs are the two best teams in basketball right now, simply because they're having the easiest time getting through their opponents. Now, again, they're both the 1-8. But, there was a lot of hype on the 2-7 for Boston. And right now, we'll see what they do in that series. They play game 4 tonight, but right now it's 2-1, right? So it might become a series with Orlando. Not to say that Boston isn't one of the best teams in the playoffs right now. They clearly are. But if you look at the two teams that are looking the most impressive, albeit versus worst competition, it's kind of how winning in the regular season works for the playoffs. It looks like Oklahoma City and Cleveland, when you see what they have the most to offer. Boston is right behind them. But, I think all these three teams are on the same playing field. OG Browns fan for life says, hey, Q, do you think the Cavs will find a way to give Jaylen Tyson more opportunities next year? I feel like he's actually been good when given the opportunity. He's done a really good job. The team is so loaded. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much playing time. He's been up and down. There have been some Jaylen Tyson minutes where you want him back desperately because he doesn't look very impressive in them. And there have been some games where Jaylen Tyson encourages you and you want to see more of him and you're excited to see more of him. The reality is whether we want to see him more or not, the Cavs are going to be in a position where they're going to need him to step up. He's a first-round pick, and he's on a controlled deal, and the Cavs are going to start running into those aprons, right? The salary cap aprons pretty soon here. So they're going to need, some of these guys on these cheaper deals to step up. Now, here's the good thing. The Cavs have done a great job with their low-level development. I would say high-level development, too, because look at how much better Donovan is in Cleveland. Look at how much better Darius has been. Look at how much better Evan has gotten. Look how much better Max Strus has gotten. Look at how much better Jared's gotten. Like, the Cavs are just really good at development. That's like a real strong suit of theirs. And that's the good news. Ty Jerome, developed by the Cavs, figured him out, right? So that's the good news. Yes, the Cavs are going to have to push some guys out because of money, and maybe Jaylen Tyson has to step up, but the Cavs development team has been strong enough to where maybe they don't find another Ty Jerome, but they might find a way to fill the void on the bench. You know, it's going to be hard, though. Ty brings a lot. Jaylen Tyson, he's not going to be Ty Jerome. He can't get buckets like Ty, but, you know, maybe he can add some defense and make the bench really good in a different way. But yeah, I think eventually, sooner than later, he's going to have to become a key piece of this rotation because Cavs ain't going to have or the ability to just to just force it with what they have, right? They're going to have to let some guys go eventually. But y'all let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.